What's going on, guys? Welcome into the Bulls Report here by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a fun one. We're going to be going over 4 blockbuster trade ideas ahead of the NBA trade deadline. Obviously, we know the Bulls have been in the center of the latest NBA trade rumors, and many Bulls fans are kind of split. Some Bulls fans actually want the Bulls to maybe be buyers, but I think most of us are anticipating a massive fire sale coming for Chicago. And the 4 main guys are Caruso, Vooch, DeMar DeRozan, and LaVine. So I got a trade idea for each one of those guys. Let's kick it off with Vooch because we haven't really heard any, big-time rumors or big-time trade ideas around him since he can't get traded until January 15th. But this one was him heading to the Grizzlies for Luke Kennard, Zaire Williams, and a 2029 first-round pick, lottery protected. And when I originally saw this, I was like, man, the Bulls aren't really getting too much for this. But again, it's Vooch. I don't really think Vooch has that much value on the open market. I don't think teams who are serious about contending would want Vooch. But from the Grizzlies side of things, I think it actually makes a little sense. You got that Depoy and Jaren Jackson in the front court, and I think Vooch and him would actually kind of complement each other really well. Vooch's weaknesses are Jaren Jackson's strengths, so I think it would make some sense for the Grizzlies. But the 2 guys that the Bulls would be getting back, Luke Kennard and Zaire Williams. Zaire Williams, I haven't watched a lot of him play, obviously, in his NBA career, but he is a young guy. And, if you're looking at the numbers on screen right now, obviously not the most efficient basketball player in his NBA career. And only playing 19 minutes a game this year for the Grizzlies, 7.3 points a night, 1.4 assists, 3.6 rebounds, and shooting under 40% from the field and under 32% from downtown. So obviously not having that good of a year. But it's this guy I want to talk about, Luke Kennard, who I've been a big fan of dating back to his days at Duke. And he's only played 9 games this season. He was dealing with injuries, but in 21.3 minutes per game, he's putting up 9 points. And you guys see the efficiency from downtown. He is a sniper. He's got that sweet lefty stroke. I love his game. I love just the way he's able to just catch and shoot and rise up over a defender. He is a true flamethrower we have in the league, and he's shooting 40.7% from downtown. So this is a trade idea for Vooch. We haven't really heard that many trade ideas around him, but I honestly think for the Grizzlies, it makes a little sense. But and I've been saying this a while for the Bulls, draft picks. I would rather have the Bulls get more of a pick haul kind of center deal than a player haul center deal. So for this trade, I'm probably still doing it just because I want the Bulls to kind of completely pivot to a rebuild. But this was the trade idea that was thrown out there for the Grizzlies. But in general, around Nikola Vucevic, should the Bulls trade him? Give me a T for trade or give me a P for pass down in the comment section. I'm typing my T's for trade. Move off it. Let these young cats kind of get more minutes and get more looks in this offense. I'll be typing my T for trade, but let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. All right, now this is one of my favorite ones here. It's DeMar DeRozan. We've heard the Lakers, we've heard the Heat, we've heard even the Knicks get in there in the DeMar DeRozan kind of trade rumors. But this is a trade sending him to Miami for Kyle Lowry, a 2026 second-round pick, and a 2029 first-round pick swap. And again, a lot of people are going to be saying there's no way we would get way more for that for DeMar DeRozan. Guys, he's 35 years old and he's on an expiring deal. I think we're going to be very kind of disappointed in what we get for DeMar and LaVine. And again, I think we're going to be kind of happy with what we could get for Alex Caruso in a trade. But DeMar's having a great year, and I think a team like Miami would make a lot of sense for him. I mean, you could have that kind of tertiary, fourth scorer on that team. And in this trade, Miami's not giving up any of their young guys in Jaime Jaquez or Tyler Hero, so I think it would entice them a lot. But DeMar's been having a great year, man. I mean, 22.4 points per game, 5.4 assists, and I think his playmaking ability has always gone underrated throughout his NBA career. We saw when he went to San Antonio and he teamed up with Pop, that's really where we saw that playmaking side of his game kind of get elevated. But he's also been shooting the 3 ball a lot more this year, 34.5% from downtown. Obviously not great, and a lot of those are coming from the corner, but he has shown an ability in the flow of an offense. If just a natural catch-and-shoot 3 comes his way, he can rise up and hit it. But for me, I think DeMar to Miami makes a lot of sense for them. We've seen it. We talk when we watched the Heat last year in the playoffs. Heat culture that can take them all the way to the finals, but they always just need that little extra firepower. And if you could tell the Heat, hey, we're going to have DeMar, Jaime Jaquez, and Tyler Hero, 3 big additions in comparison to last season when they went and made that NBA Finals run. I think Miami would do that in a heartbeat, especially if you're only giving up Kyle Lowry, 2 match salaries, and then a pick swap and a second-round pick. I think Miami would do it in a heartbeat. I don't know if the Bulls would. Maybe they could get, a unprotected first-round pick from another team. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see when that trade deadline comes around. And you never know. Teams will always get desperate. If they think that one more piece could get them over the hump, teams will obviously up their trade value. So I got 2 more trade ideas for the Bulls coming up here in a second, but I got to give a big-time shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Head to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use promo code CLNS, and you're going to get a first deposit match up to $100. I use PrizePicks for pretty much every single game I watch. All you got to do, pick 2 or more players. You're going to choose more or less on their projected stat types. You guys can start seeing the cash roll in today. Bulls, they're taking on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. I'm riding with 2 of my favorite players in the NBA. I'm going to take more than 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Kobe White. Obviously, he hasn't been shooting the three-point ball, actually, over the last couple games too well, but I think he's going to turn it around tonight. Then Tyrese Maxey. I absolutely love his game. He's one of my favorite players to watch, so I'm going to take more on 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists as well. If you guys want to fade my picks or ride with my picks, just make sure you guys do it at PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. Trade idea number 3 for the Chicago Bulls with the trade deadline. What do we got? About a month away at this point. It's Alex Caruso, and I know. I don't want to trade Alex Caruso. Like, he's one of my favorite players to watch. He brings energy for the Bulls. He is that definition of just a glue guy, and I could go on minutes of just raving about Caruso. But this is him going to the Denver Nuggets in a blockbuster deal for Julian, Strawther, Reggie Jackson, and another big Kankar. I can't really know how to pronounce that name. And then also a 2020 or 2030 first-round pick swap. And the main part of this deal, why I would actually consider it, is Julian Strawther. I am a big fan of Strawther. Listen, I think Strawther is one of the more kind of, obviously, he only plays 14 minutes a game for the Nuggets. But I do think with him going to Gonzaga and him being in the Nuggets organization, like, I think he is a winning player. And I think the Bulls need to sort of pivot in a direction where it's like, where I feel like we got a bunch of individual guys on the squad right now, like LaVine, DeRozan, Vooch. You know, it doesn't really gel as a unit. Well, if you get winning players who have been in a winning culture, I think it could help it gel. And listen, I'm a fan of guys when they played college ball for a team that has won throughout their culture there. He won a ton at Gonzaga, and even we've seen like the Villanova guys when they get in the league, like the Josh Harts, Brunson, and DiVincenzo's, like they all just play the game the right way. And I think Strawther does that as well. He actually killed the Bulls in that one preseason game we watched when he took on the Nuggets. His pull-up jump shooting is not too good, and it wasn't really that good in college as well, but he was great in the preseason, kind of went back to reality here in the regular season. But he's a rookie. I would definitely take Strawther on my ball club. But again, for Caruso, I think the Bulls could maybe get more. But again, we will see here in a second. But trade idea number 4 here for the Bulls, Zach LaVine to the Lakers. And this is the one that's been thrown out there a ton. From the Lakers side of things, I don't think they're going to go all in on LaVine. It's just kind of what my gut's telling me. I think the Bulls and the Lakers, are definitely going to be calling, and I think this is the package they're going to throw to them every single time. The Lakers are going to try to package D'Lo and Rui for another superstar. But again, I don't know if they would want Zach LaVine as their third option in comparison to already having Austin Reeves. Like, I don't know if they want to kind of consolidate all these assets and go in on a guy who just really hasn't been winning a ton of in his culture. But then again, you can make the other argument. You could be like, he's a tremendous basketball player. He's got all the skill in the world. You get him around LeBron James in that culture, they will get the most out of him. But from the Bulls side of things, I'm not trading for D'Angelo Russell. And I've been standing on this point over and over again, mainly because of the fact I think he would hinder the development of an Ayo Dosunmu, of a Kobe White, which is the main priority for the Bulls at the trade deadline. You trade all of these players, get some draft picks, and let these younger guys develop, and adding a D'Angelo Russell, I just don't think that would be the right call. I think then we would see a stunt in their growth. And, listen, they've been playing their ass off ever since LaVine got hurt. So keep developing Ayo, keep developing Kobe White. I'm just out on D'Lo. I like his game, but I'm just out on him coming to the Bulls. But with the trade deadline a month away, some Bulls fans still want the Bulls to maybe trade for a piece that could, obviously make them buyers at the deadline. But should the Bulls be buyers or sellers at the NBA trade deadline, give me a B for buy or give me an S for sellers. So there are really only 3 guys. I kind of want to wrap up this show, kind of making my point here. These are the only 3 guys that I think are untouchable for the Chicago Bulls. Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, and Kobe White. These are the 3 young guys on this team that I think you could actually build around. And I'm not saying any of these guys could be first, second, or third options on a championship team. But I think these guys could all be really solid, just role players or whatever role. Maybe Kobe White could end up being a tertiary option on a championship team. But these are only 3 guys that are untouchable, and that gets me to this. I think everybody else can go. I would move off Torrey Craig. I would move off Javon Carter. Try to accumulate as much draft capital as you can and fully start this rebuild around those 3 young guys, fill out the roster around them, and maybe you go try and get a superstar in the draft or however you may be, because superstars win in this league. Bulls don't have one. And that's kind of why I'm in the camp, that they need to trade everybody. But thank you guys so much for watching today's edition of the Bulls Report. That was 4 blockbuster trade ideas around the 4 guys on the Bulls that we've heard rumors about this whole offseason. Whole season. So thank you guys so much. See you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.